I'm going to make a clay pinch pot today. These have been bisque fired, so they're hard and they're ready to paint. This one, of course, I've already painted. Kind of give you the side view. Pinch pot is one of your most basic forms. People have been making these forever. Forever. So I do have various clay tools here. I've got a fork. Pencil works really nice. I have some specialized clay tools. Some are just like marker caps, things that I have found, things that I would have thrown away. So to make a pinch pot, one of the first things you do with your clay is you need to wedge it. And that means you got to push down on it with the palm of your hand. And the reason we do this is to get the air pockets out. So I tip it up on its side, push down, tip it on its side, push down. And I just do this a few times. And then I'm going to make a ball. So I'm cupping my hands like this. And it doesn't need to look perfect. It's got lots of cracks and everything, but I'm going to change the form anyway. Then I'm going to take my most important tool, which is my thumb. I'm going to take my thumb, push it down. If you need to put it on the table, you can. I push it in. Don't push it in all the way. We're not making donuts today. And you can see the hole that I've created. Then this technique is called pinch and turn. That's why it's called a pinch pot. You stick your thumb in. I put all of my four fingers on the outside. And I'm going to pinch, turn, pinch, and I gotta let go, turn, pinch, turn, and you can see it getting bigger. And I keep pinching and turning, and it gets bigger and bigger. Might go over it a second time here to try to make those walls even. You don't want it too thin, you don't want it too thick. Now I've got a bunch of clay here at the bottom. So I'm going to stick my thumbs here at the bottom and my 8 fingers on the top, or actually underneath. And I'm just going to pinch that out to use up some of that clay there. And at this time, if I put it on the table, it's going to wobble. So I need to flatten out the bottom. And the way I do that is tap it on the table. And there it goes. It won't wobble around. Now, I'm ready for decorating. So many different things I can do here. The way I did this is I just took my fingers and pinched it. Okay. This one, I did the same thing, but I did it more out. This one I just curved with my fingers. One of the problems that can occur though is if your wall gets too thin and it tears like that. Super easy to fix. All you do is you overlap it, pinch it back together, and then I smooth it out with my best tool, and you don't even know it was ever there. Ta-da! So I think I'm going to flare out the lip a little bit. I do like that style. And then I actually want to add some textures. So one of my favorite textures is a thread spool. And I'm going to gently, not too hard, because you don't want it to go all the way through. Sometimes I like to make a little flower in there, but I think for this one, I'm going to make a couple different designs, or a couple different stamps. See that? So you can tell I pressed harder for this one and not as hard for that one. You just don't want it to go through the bottom. Another thing I like to do is use the fork to make these lines, to make them, if I want them to really be even, the fork is really nice. And you could do the same pattern going all the way around or not. That's up to you. But if you do, it's called radial symmetry. Now I see some clay sticking out. I'm going to kind of try to rub that off a little bit because it'll turn out really sharp if I fire it that way. And I'll check it before I put it in the kiln. There. So I've got that going. I do have a smaller marker cap. Maybe I can make a cool design going around the edge here. Now, some people forget that you actually have the outside of your pottery to decorate as well and to create textures. These are called real textures because you can actually touch them and feel them. So if I flip it over, I actually want to keep this bottom part clean because that's where I'm going to put my name. But look, I've got all this edge. So maybe I think I'll use the comb and see what happens with that. So you kind of get this scratchy look to it. Kind of like the fork, but closer together. You can make it deeper by pressing harder. There we go. I can use this tool or even the end of my fork. If you press into the clay like this, I can make a dent in it. I'm not going through my clay. You can see I'm making a neat mark there. Sometimes I like to use the pencil if I want a specific design that I'm trying to create. So you can see that now. So I might use the pencil to draw lines or letters or whatever design drawing you want on there. I can also use this tool. I can use this tool to cut into. I can also use it to smooth areas out too. So let me fix that up. And oops, looks like I have a crack right there. Again, smooth it out. I can touch it up with my marker cap. Ta-da! All done. Ready for fire.